feel the dark clouds gather all around me. I sense a change is coming very soon. Sadness has a way, it always finds me. I can run, but I can't hide or escape what lives inside. And no matter how I try, it will remind me.
Well, as we said, everyone, this is the one and only singer, songwriter, producer, artist, the one and only former Broadway performer as well, Skeels. Steven, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you.
Yes, let's kick it off by just going back to where you started, because this is incredible. You were on the West End, the 9th longest running show called Starlight Express.
Yes, we actually moved it into Germany, and it was a international company from 30 different countries, artists from 30 different countries, actors. Wow. And so we all arrived in Germany, and I didn't realize when I auditioned for it, I was auditioning for something else, and then out of the blue, they called me in for this, and I did it, and I got the role. And then they told me the last minute, you're gonna be singing in the entire show in German, and you're gonna be skating. And I never spoken German before, and I'd never skated before.
Which is incredible, because I want to add in, you weren't just playing a character, you played the lead in this show, right? Tell us about your character, Rusty.
The character, you know, it was based on, loosely based on The Little Engine That Could, but there was a real spiritual element to it. And the Starlight Express represented like God or higher power or light. And so once I was able to, as an actor, to take it into that realm, it gave me more to play off of. Yeah. And I'm the youngest of 10 children. We were very dirt poor, very severe poverty. Okay. And I always dreamed when I was a little boy, I would always look up into the stars and say, help me to get out of this life, and I want something better for myself. And the Starlight Express sort of represented that, what I had prayed for as a little tiny boy. So it was sort of like a full circle moment. Yeah. And through the show, he's always crying out to the starlight, which is the light, the higher being, the higher power, to give him the strength and the courage to be fully and completely who he is.
So really, this, in a way, isn't acting as much, because it really kind of felt a part of your story, you played this character.
It actually was a part of my story.
We're talking about your family life, so I think I want to kind of transition into talking about that a little bit.
Sure.
You have this documentary coming out telling us a little bit about your story. Mental health is a big part of your family past. Can you dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, the documentary is called Becoming Whole, but there's 4 generations of mental illness in my family. My grandfather, my father, I experienced some, and then I have a niece and a nephew that both are struggling as well. My father suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, was an alcoholic, and he died very young at 41 years of age. And I struggled a lot through it started coming through probably when I was around 18, 19 years old. And my life as an actor, it's a roller coaster ride, being an actor and being an artist, and then suffering with this mental illness. But it's a disease like any other disease, but people don't quite understand, and I think people are so frightened of it that it kind of gets a bad rap. So it's important to me to, anytime I get a chance to really spread the message and talk about my journey. I felt shame for a long time, and now I'm like, I don't feel shame. I feel like I'm a warrior. Yeah. I feel like I've survived a lot in order to still be here.
And part of your story is all your songwriting. You have several, how many albums do you have, Steven?
5 albums.
5 albums, and this is your newest one. Tell us a little bit about this newest album.
I started writing this during the pandemic, and I knew that I needed to do something creative, because after we got into like month 3 and 4, I'm like, I don't know when's this ever gonna end. And so I have a co-producer, and we were able to produce a lot of the tracks through Zoom. We would get on the phone, and I would, we'd do some piano playing, then we'd add guitars and that sort of thing. And then right towards the very end of that year, I went into a recording studio. He was in his booth, I was in another booth, so we didn't even meet each other eye to eye for a solid year. We wrote and recorded the entire album during that time.
Well, I'm so excited for people to hear this. Steven, where can people go for more information about you?
The best way is go to my website, stevenskeels.com. That's STEVENSKEELS.com. And you can find all information about my upcoming performances, my albums, my past, my future. There
you go, your whole story. I'm looking forward to those future performances. Steven, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.